And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OC as we've returned. We've returned here with the semifinals, with the other semifinals match of the WardiTV Monday number 74. And so far, we've seen nothing but all-ins. We had the Shin versus Classic series, and of course, Classic versus MaxFax. MaxFax is waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this matchup, and we'll see how this does turn out here. What I am excited about is that these two, they face off very, very often. We cover them quite often on our channel, and they often do go back and forth as well, and often in the mid game. So I am ready to sink my teeth into ideally a longer back and forth. We'll see. We'll see, as game one is going to be on Tourmaline already. One of the smallest maps in the map pool. Aggression is favored here, and we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. We have the Polish Protoss representing Onside Esports. It is Krystianer. He's no longer offside. He's onside. Let's go, let's go. As I mean, that there's a lot to get into, of course, but if you have been tuning into the news as of late, and we still have to discuss this during the podcast, that's going to be in a couple of days' time, of course, but Team Vitality, they did step away. They did end their partnership with Onside Gaming, or Onside Esports. I know they switch back and forth every now and then, but that does mean that Onside is now its own entity. Offside Esports has been dissolved and absorbed by Onside. So we're all Onside here. Let's go. Let's go. That also means that Krystianer is going to be playing alongside his teammates in the, I believe he's going to be playing in the WardiTV Team League, alongside Maru, alongside Ryung, alongside Zhao. We'll be competing together. As Krystianer has been improving quite heavily, of course, over the past year. And again, we'll see how our players do adjust their approach. We shall see. As we have ByuN going for an economic opener, single gas out of our Terran player, going for a Rax expand. We do see Krystianer being as annoying as possible. On patrol. And does force a CC off center, so nicely done here by Krystianer. Again, it's not a big deal, but it does delay the expansion, does delay mining, it does put a thorn in ByuN's side. As Pro does get the hell out of there. Does pull away. ByuN, he does a very ByuN thing here. I say very ByuN thing, very Korean TvP, as ByuN does not SCV scout. No SCV scout and no Reaper scout either. He does go for his Marine, checking for proxy locations, making sure there's no proxy gateway, but outside of that, he has no idea as to what Krystianer is up to. Just being as greedy as possible, cutting corners, which will help make up for the lack of centered CC. We'll make up for it. Players are opening up. Oh, hello, and this is a rare sight. A Stargate opener out of Krystianer. Interesting. Stargate openers are typically reserved for larger maps. It is typically very greedy, very risky to do this on a map like Tourmaline, but ByuN has no scouting, right? ByuN has no scouting information. He is being very greedy himself, so he won't know that he can punish a Stargate. So I'm liking the choice here from Krystianer. With this Stargate, we can go into early Oracles for harass or build out that Phoenix count to shut down any drop play. To shut down drop play, to gain map control, and to build up into either Phoenix Colossus or Phoenix into charge. As we are going to be opening up Oracle. So it's going to be Oracle first. The goal here is economic damage. As ByuN does move out with his Hellion. Again, crucially gets across the map to get some information. As the Hellion does slip by. Oh, yeah, it does barely slip by. Gets into the main, gets a full scout. He does confirm the Stargate. Yeah, he sees all, he knows all. Back at home, he was preparing for his own mine drop. Is where it's going to be an Oracle, not a Phoenix. And we can see it's going to be a big ground switch. Wait, did ByuN see the Twilight Council? I believe he did. Yeah, did see the Council. ByuN is aware. He's aware of the Oracle. He's aware of the ground switch. So again, big scouting here by ByuN. Adepts, they commit to the shade. Past the Widow Mine. Boys are being pulled. A lot of Marines are going to be going down. The Oracle comes in as well to support. Yeah, nice control. As control, ByuN does save those Marines. Does try to drag over towards the mine. So far, it's going to be 3 SCV kills. The Cyclone does arrive, and with that, ByuN, he will hold. He holds, cashing out both the depths. Oh my god. Both the depths go down. And again, a very chaotic, but a nice defense nonetheless. ByuN, he bleeds out a couple of SCVs, but he does defend back at home, and now here comes the counterattack. Oh boy. And again, he knows that he has nothing to worry about in regards to Phoenixes. As there are no Phoenixes. Did see that tech switch. Now boosting across the map. We have Cloak Banshees behind this as well. ByuN spots the fast start expansion.
I am here.
ByuN does skirt around the edge. Making his way into the main. Seeing the fast start should prompt aggression out of ByuN. And we'll see how hard he does move out. As he's going for the mineral line. Gets one, just the one probe. Nothing major. Does rescout though, does confirm that nothing's being made for the Stargates, and does confirm the mass amount of Link Stalkers. Technically, there was a chance this was going to be charge. But ByuN is now fully aware. ByuN is now aware. 4 probes did go down. I believe that was to... yeah, the mine drop. It's Krystianer now. It's time for him to counterattack. He does have Blink. Bear that in mind. Oh. Unfortunately did miss the Banshee with the Revelation. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Meanwhile, the Banshee does get across the map. Gets 2 probe kills, forcing the recall as well. Oh, as there is that Revelation, just barely. Oh no, out of vision. Yeah, out of vision, out of range. 3, 4 probes going down. The Banshee does get away. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, unfortunate there for Krystianer. Thankfully, he does have a Phoenix. It's almost done. And now switching into Colossus. But it has been a very messy early game here. The Banshee forces out a Revelation. Another Banshee comes in, and no battery in the mineral line, and more economic damage. Getting up to 3 more probes. Lands another Revelation. And ByuN is macroing behind this. So there's no 2 base all in. We have a 3rd CC on the way. ByuN is building up. Getting to stim. More tanks. More ByuN. Oh, as Krystianer moves out, unfortunately, he does miss out the drop. Drop does sit by. Colossus will be amassing. And it's going to be up to Krystianer to contain, right? To contain the Terran. To keep ByuN busy here on 2 bases for as long as possible. This move out also scouts a 3rd CC. So Krystianer, he knows. He's aware of the expansion. So far, getting up, what, 4 or 5 Marines. Very nice. Hasn't lost a Stalker yet, but he's going to be careful. Oh, there's a stim. It does stim to chase. Stalker's going down across the map as well. Messy defense here from Krystianer. As more Stalkers get picked up. Oh my god, the Oracle as well. Okay. Nice target firing. ByuN. Catching out the Oracle, forcing the army back home, and that does create an opening to expand. We spoke earlier how it was going to be up to Krystianer to contain ByuN, but due to the drop and due to the army forcing back the Stalkers, ByuN can freely claim his 3rd base. Wasn't really contained for long at all. So nice breakout out of ByuN. And here trying to catch out the Stalkers. And he gets 1. He gets 2. Oh, just the 1. Just barely. Now it's going to be up to ByuN to secure this position. He's got his tank line, Sim City. We got some depots. We got some bunkers. These are to drag the fire away from the main army. To tie up the Colossus. Likewise, separate out the charge as well. And this is looking a little bit concerning here. ByuN is not getting a 4th CC, is building up even further. Krystianer, he blinks into the tank fire. Oh my god. The crazy move by Krystianer bleeds out a lot of stalkers. That was not worth it. You got 1 tank. And Krystianer, he might just commit in. Yeah, he's going for the warp in. Krystianer, he's going for it. He's going for it. There are 2 tanks, sorry, 3 tanks behind this. Massive tank shells on the zealots. Oh, good. Yeah, just free damage here on the charge lots, and Krystianer is going to be forced away. He's forced back. Again, Krystianer being overly aggressive here. This was not worth it. Better trades for ByuN, as Krystianer stumbled his way into a 4-base economy. Getting to 4 bases, second robo, disruptors are on the way. Krystianer is very fond of disruptor play in TvP, but I will say that Krystianer has bled out a lot of units in the lead up to this. He doesn't have the momentum that he usually would have in TvP. So Krystianer is lacking that momentum, and ByuN does have the lead instead. ByuN has a superior economy, likewise building up the greater army as well. And I'm concerned that Krystianer will not be able to stop the 4th base of ByuN. From here, ByuN should just turtle. He should just be turtling up center towers, missile turrets, building up on 4 bases, and then looking to max out with ghosts and with liberators. That should be the go-to. It's going to be up to Krystianer to try to get some disruptor volleys off and land some connections. And look for an opening. Now, as much as I say that ByuN should turtle up and he should build up and max out with Ghost Lib, he is ByuN and he is very fond of being aggressive, and at times that can be a hindrance of ByuN. But he's typically a very active player. That at times does kill him. There it goes off, no major connection. 4th base is now being taken. And again, Krystianer, he knows he can't just let it get up and running. He can't just let it happen. Does poke in. Never goes off. Oh, not bad. Catching up 2 Marauders. But we'll lose the Disruptor. Yeah, it does lose the Disruptor in the process. That's worth it anymore. Krystianer, he rotates over towards the right-hand side. Looking for another way in. ByuN is out of position. There is an opening. Yeah, it does spot the rotation. Races on over. EMP lands on the Zealots. Nice EMPs. Tanks do reposition as well. Yeah, tanks they rotate over. Novas they do connect, catching out 2 tanks. Not bad. And ByuN commits. Yeah, ByuN does go for the dive. Colossus is going to be going down, losing 2 Colossus already, getting the 3rd. He cannot get away. Yeah, he can't get away here. 3 Colossus go down. Massive pickups. And Krystianer overextended. Did overextend. Sure, he got 2 tanks in the process, but he lost almost everything trying to get out of there. Down to 2 Stalkers, down to 1 Disruptor. Heavy losses for Krystianer. Once again, just being overly aggressive. And now he has almost purely Zealots. A very cheap army. Very cheap. Bear this in mind, one supply is not quite like the other. Both are maxed, but ByuN has a much more efficient composition. Much more efficient. Drags down within tank range, EMP on the Stalkers. Zealots try to collapse in. Can he break through? Oof, awkward Novas. Yeah, Novas are a little bit awkward, running out of Zealots. Vikings, they land on the army. And Krystianer, he will lose everything. He plummets in supply. Again, his army isn't really built to dive into his entrenched position like this. It's not built for it. Doesn't have the economies to sustain that. Krystianer, he has to back off. The scary thing here is that ByuN is maxing. ByuN is maxing out with, again, a superior composition. Now he can start to move out, and Krystianer, he is in danger. What do we have? 2 Disruptors. We got 2 Disruptors. Oh my god, mass EMP. EMPs are crazy. Catching out a Colossus. 3 Disruptors left. 2 of the Novas are on cooldown. Zell said he tried to punish. And ByuN, he just peels off. Yeah, he just peels off towards the left-hand side. There's a scan. Spots the expansion. I believe saw the Dark Templar as well. And they spot each other. Krystianer's distracted. The main army is left idle in the center. ByuN pulls away. Here comes a bit of range. 3-3 as well. The upgrades are finishing. The upgrades are finishing up. So again, Krystianer is hoping that these Novas can land. He's basically heavily reliant on the Novas. Doesn't really have much else behind this. We now see a Stargate on the way. The attempt is switching to Sky Toss. It's a messy transition here from Krystianer. And he fails to deny the 5th base. The 5th base now getting up and running. ByuN can now build up a bank. Oh, Novas do connect. Massive. Oh my god, massive connections. ByuN. He walks into the Novas. Okay. Krystianer, can we do this? Can he do it? At the same time, ByuN focusing elsewhere, going for his own counter drop. Gets an Nexus, and Krystianer, oh, he's distracted. Does he turn everything around? Yeah, he backs off, he turns around. Again, we had a very juicy connection earlier, but it doesn't quite capitalize on it. ByuN is counterattacking. There's our Fleet Peak, and again, attempted to switch into Sky Toss, into Tempest. ByuN drops in, spots the tech, going for the Cybercore. He does force to cancel. Takes down the Cybercore, takes down one of the Stargates. Zell Systems is working against them. They're trickling in, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god, mass EMP. And ByuN, you just trade. Yeah, you just stand and trade here. He just stims. He stims and he wins. Takes down all the Zealots. The Orphans, they barely may force the pickup. Nah, not even. He just he just fights. Yeah, ByuN, he just takes down the entire army. Ay, ay, ay. Again, the EMPs were brutal. The SimCity as well, working against Krystianer. ByuN does push on the left-hand side. And ByuN is just snowballing out of control. Mass DT, no scan. Yeah, no scan, but GG gets called anyway, and ByuN, he overwhelms. He takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played with that. ByuN, he does claim the first game here. Again, it was just a really rough early game for Krystianer. We saw twice that Krystianer, he overextended pushing into siege lines, and he was losing fights time and time again, just beating out too many Colossus, too many Zealots, too many Stalkers, was overextending, overconfident, and misjudging the strength of his army and misjudging the strength of ByuN's position. It wasn't ByuN's drop play that was winning him those games. It was his defensive setup here, being able to take those fights, win those fights, and force Krystianer to be quite inefficient with those move outs. Again, he was just bleeding out so much, pushing into that defensive line of tanks. GG, well played. With that, ByuN, he was able to perfect his army, building up into Ghosts, building up into Liberators. GG, well played. ByuN, he does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend his lead and claim the series, or if Krystianer can bounce back. Let's go. Let us go. Krystianer can't fire his disruptors and attack with the rest of the army at the same time. That is not true. He can. We've seen Krystianer dominate ByuN in the past. We've seen him control his army very well as well. I won't say that about this game necessarily, but on top of that, a big reason for that is because Krystianer was already behind, right? He was already in a really rough position here. Things were already looking dire, like things were definitely looking south there for Krystianer. He had a couple of nice moments here and there, but only nice moments. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force that ace match as spawning in the bottom right hand corner. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Onside Esports. It is Krystianer. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to be opening up. And we'll see how our players do adjust, bearing in mind that last game Krystianer did open up with his Stargate, and it wasn't quite worth it. In the end, the Oracles weren't able to do much damage. The Banshees were able to pop off and even deal critical damage against Krystianer, forcing him back home, keeping him delayed. It was a very chaotic early game, very back and forth, but in the end, ByuN did come out on top. We'll see how Krystianer does adjust. I would imagine that we're going to be going into a Blink-based opener this time instead of the Stargate. But we'll see. We shall see. Here we go as ByuN is once again going for an economic opener. Racks expand. ByuN, he will skip his SCV scout and skip his Reaper scout as well. So once again, ByuN is cutting as many corners as he can. I mean, for the most part, he could have gone CC first, which would have been even greedier. But for the most part, Racks expands, no scouting, checking for proxies before settling in. Now, last game this led into the early defensive Cyclone into Cloak Banshee, to Cloak Banshee harass, which did buy a lot of time. It did kind of expand a bunch of revelations. It did keep Krystianer busy. This time it is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of our Protoss. Okay. Here we go. Krystianer does poke in. Behind this, we do have our standard follow-up here. Cyclone is on the way just to be safe. And medevac for the Cyclone drop. Again, we had the same opener last game. Then this did lead into the eventual Banshees. Hellion slips in, and ByuN, he doesn't quite confirm the tech yet. We did see another gateway. Gets 2 probe kills and does see even more gates behind this, so he knows. It's fully where it's going to be Blink. We can see it's going to be 3-gate Blink out of Krystianer. With this, he can be a little bit more assertive. And the goal will be to gain map control. Oh. Depth is called out. Here comes the drop. This time we do keep the tech lab on the factory. Tank production has begun. Tech lab is going to be on the way in the starport, but this could also be for an attempted add-on swap. We'll keep an eye on him. We'll see if ByuN does go Banshee again. Oh wait, as Krystianer expands towards ByuN. Wait, what? I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever seen a player willingly expand here towards their opponents. I say willingly because, I mean, again, ByuN is being active and he's being aggressive, that is true. But this is a very awkward position for the Protoss. Very awkward. As this base is prime for like a 2-base all-in. Like, it'd be very difficult to defend. Nice catch. Very nice. Ooh. Medevac goes down. Cyclone as well. A nice start here for Krystianer. He did need this. Behind this, it's not going to be Banshee. Opening up Raven. Opening a Raven into his bio. Oh, never mind. Okay. Gets the one. Gets the one into add-on swap into Sim. Krystianer does move out. As Krystianer, he can threaten the add-on. And can he force a cancel? Can he deny Sim? Yeah, one more volley. One Stalker goes down, does blink away. Did he lose 2? Yeah, 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers here for Stim. Will slow down ByuN. Oh, shout out to the probes. Killing a Marine. Let's go. ByuN does scout the 3rd. And ByuN is expanding. No 2 base all in. Third TC is on the way. He's building up his bio counts, building up his tank counts. This time, Krystianer, he's not going in towards Colossus and Disruptor. This time, we have a Storm on the way instead. Yeah, Storm is on the way. Raven to get sniped. Overall, a decent defense here by Krystianer. Catching the Cyclone job, catching the Raven. I'm still concerned about the expansion location, and we'll get there once ByuN moves out. But we'll see if he can. Similar to last game, the goal for Krystianer is to delay the third. If you recall, last game he failed to do so due to the Banshee harass. He was forced to turn around. Or he was Banshee harass and drop play. Oof. Stalker is picked off. Oh, as Krystianer, he's tempted, very tempted here to dive on the tanks. He gets punished. Again, we have already 5 tanks for ByuN. Jesus. A heavy tank count, getting up to 6. And Stalkers, they kind of move in. Oh, oh no! Yeah, they kind of move in, they get punished. Again, Krystianer, I'm sure he's not quite used to seeing this many tanks this early on. Just a heavy tank count. More Zealots are warping in. Charge will take and punishes. Now, because the tank count is so high, the supportive army is a little bit smaller. Remember, Stim is just now finishing in 5 seconds. Krystianer is going for the dive. Storm is done. Can he break him? He's going for it. Nice Sim City. Yeah, nice Sim City. Storm in the fire. Marines, they just run past. They avoid the storms, but the tanks are going down. Getting all 3 tanks on the low ground. Can he get more done though? The bio army. Yeah, the Marine army, they do Stim in. Hiding back against the Zealots. Mineral line is exposed, but Krystianer, he's running out of steam, he's running out of army. Again, if the storms were a little bit better placed, I think he could have just broken this in a much cleaner fashion. Unfortunately, there were like, what, 2-3 storms, which were barely out of range of the Pio army. Like, barely to graze the Marines. And ByuN is holding. It does cost him 14 SCVs though, and Krystianer's not done. Krystianer, he is not done. He's getting up to 4 bases. No gas is being taken. Purely minerals, purely Zealots. And Krystianer, can he break his opponent? He's close. Yeah, from 6 down to 2 tanks. Observer gets caught out. Krystianer warping another wave. Collapsing the army. Tank is unsieged. Oh, it doesn't go for it. Yeah, it doesn't quite commit. It takes 2 extra shots to the face. Stalkers, they get tied up here with the CC. And ByuN is holding. Yeah, ByuN is holding on. Yeah, an awkward assault here from Krystianer. Does land a storm. Does threaten the mineral line. Does need more damage. He needs more Zealots more than anything. Needs more charge, lots. Storm does zone. Krystianer still quite committed. Behind this, taking more expansions to be able to afford all of this. His tech is quite low in regards to his robo production, any further splash damage. The goal was to kill then and there, and he fails to do so. ByuN holds, ByuN defends, and ByuN can now build up a greater army. Ghosts are now on the way. Ghosts, CMPs, armory for 2-2. ByuN is becoming more secure over time. He's turtling up. Krystianer collapsing forward. Once again, the brutal choke point. not quite able to break through. Zealots take peel up into the middle line. They get a couple of SCVs, but that's all they get. 5 SCV kills. Again, Krystianer, he cannot break this position. And he should stop trying, to be honest. It might be too late at this point, but Krystianer, he has to back off, take gases, start to take up. Now he's working towards Colossus. Get the second Robo on the way, the Bay on the way as well. Krystianer now pulls away, but after losing so many charge lots. 41 Zealots, the 16 Stalkers. It's been rough trades here for Krystianer. And ByuN is now taking a 4th. And this is where Krystianer needs to engage. He needs to stop that 4th base. Or slow it down. EMP. EMP lands, he commits. Yeah, it goes for the dive. Gets on top of one of the tanks. Yeah, one tank goes down, but only one tank. ByuN, he dominates this fight. He shuts down all the Zealots. Stalkers are exposed, and Krystianer, he's being forced back. He plummets in supply. Oof. Again, he did push into the siege line. He got one tank, but just the one. And ByuN is getting out of hand here. ByuN, he will soon have the superior economy. He's getting his 4th base up and running. Not like this. Oh, nice catch. Krystianer does pick off a tank. Does at least get a tank. From here, Krystianer, he can now start to take up. Building on more Colossus. But the scary thing here is that typically the Terran player has to fight for their 4th. ByuN didn't have to. ByuN was able to freely claim his 4th base. So again, ByuN can now start to snowball out of control, build up that greater army, look to max out. And there aren't really many ways in to stop these bases here. That's the thing about Winter Madness. Your 4-base setup is very secure. The 5th base is more open and more exposed. That is true, but I mean, the initial 4 base is all that ByuN needs. Krystianer throws down the Stargate. You can argue this is late, but he's getting ready for Sky Toss. So from here, he needs Disruptors, Tempest, Mothership. Krystianer, he has a ways to go. He's got a ways to go here. There's that fleet beacon. Unfortunately, because this tech is as late as it is, and because it'll take so long to build up into all those Tempests, there's going to be a window in time where ByuN has the maxed out superior army and can start to snowball out of control. Fun fact, this entire game, ByuN's been defending, right? He has yet to actually move out across the map at any point in this game, and by the time he does, it's going to be terrifying. But now he's very secure. So this wall, let's go to CC. From here, you can get a planetary, which is most likely to be the case. Mothership has begun. Yeah, massive EMPs. EMP lands. Again, it's one of those things where, yes, Krystianer is mass expanding. These bases don't really mean much, to be honest. They're nice. They can sustain Krystianer if he can get them up and running. ByuN does break out. Denies one expansion already. He wants another. Oh, catching up the Templar. Denying any kind of storm. ByuN overwhelms the charge lots. Krystianer, he doesn't want to turn his army around. ByuN, he respects the cannons. Oh, he gets caught out. Yeah, massive EMPs. And Krystianer not paying attention. Massive connections. Vikings able to back the Colossus. Nice storm towards the end. Did have one nice storm there by Krystianer. And here comes ByuN's fifth. Oh boy. Fifth base is on the way. Advanced ballistics is now done. He has limited range. Krystianer cannot engage into this. But again, he has to try to fight for this expansion. He has to try. As more liberation has arrived. ByuN scans. ByuN does confirm the Sky Toss. Does see the Tempest. He knows. ByuN is aware. How many starports does he have? So far it should be at least three starports. He's got his reactors. It's fine. Has a setup. Meanwhile, recall towards the right hand side. Gets a planetary. ByuN's out of position. Racing on over. And it'll catch up the mothership. And mothership does go down. Zealots, hey, they do get into the mineral line. Nice damage. Nice economic damage. Krystianer pulls away. And that was a decent rotation, bearing in mind that Krystianer, he has a bank so he can afford these trades. He can afford these losses. But he has to get out of here. No! Losing 2 more Colossus. Brutal EMP, there's no storms. Sorry, I should say there's one. One storm does run away. Oof. Yeah, the Templar Courts, another storm comes in. Those are brutal losses here for Krystianer. ByuN is rebuilding. And here comes the planetary. Getting his planetaries up. Throwing down more turrets. ByuN still just securing himself. Scans once again confirming the Sky Toss. Oh boy. Now, we've been here before when it comes to ZVT, but these center expansions are crucial that Krystianer mines immediately as best he can. As eventually these bases will belong to the Terran. They'll eventually break out. Speaking of, ByuN does overextend. Losing 1 Liberator. Does lose 1. Oof. MP lands. Are there any storms left over here? I think there's 2. There's 1. There's 1 more. A couple of storms. I suppose you're doing massive EMPs. Oh my god. EMPs, they catch everything. Carrier goes down. Vikings, they can just bully. You can bully, Pappy. Ambitious Liberator, but does siege up. Another EMP lands, catching out another High Templar. And we mentioned earlier that even though this base technically was taken a long time ago from Krystianer, he barely mined, right? He barely mined, so this is a fresh mining base for ByuN. I can say the same with bottom left. So Krystianer, he has a larger bank, technically on paper, but ByuN, he has an even greater bank, technically here, or he's equivalent here when it comes to his own bank, as he has these fresh expansions. He has these fresh bases. Bearing in mind that the Protoss army does need to be up in expansions to be even with the Terran, and that's not going to be happening here. Ay, ay, ay. So Krystianer does recall. Recalls to the right hand side. Trying to move in. Liberation will zone him back. Oof. And Krystianer is being pulled apart, losing another Nexus. Another mothership! No! Yeah, mothership gets caught. Massive pickup. ByuN's drop is not stopping. Getting one, getting another Nexus. Do we have a scan? Does he notice? Free damage to the DTs. Let's go. And Krystianer, he holds. Yeah, just free damage with the Dark Templar. ByuN didn't quite notice. It was inattentive. That's still going to be 13 probe kills. They're catching up 2 more High Templar. And ByuN's army cannot be stopped. It takes out another expansion. Oh, the snipes! Catching up 2 more. There's what, 1 left? There's 1 High Templar left. Warping in 2 more. There's going to be the NG overcharge. As Krystianer bullied once again. Brutally impedes, catching more Colossus. Yeah, the Colossus, the carriers. And the 0 carriers. We have 2 Tempests left. We're making 3 carriers at a time, but so far they've just not paid for themselves. And here come the fresh bases. Oh boy. Yeah, 3 fresh expansions here. Krystianer, he's burning through his bank. These have been expensive losses for the Protoss. Very expensive. And ByuN's been looking comfortable almost the entire game. Oh boy. Again, the pivotal moment earlier was when Krystianer was pushing into the 3rd base and when he overextended. When he pushed into those 6 tanks and he failed to break the 3rd. Then right after that, we saw something similar where he pushed in towards the 3rd base once again. And once again lost everything. Krystianer setting up his wall cannons and shield batteries. Now he is entrenching himself quite hard here in the top right hand corner of the map. The reality is that ByuN, with a more mobile composition, could actually just push right down the middle. He could just push right down the middle and go bam, straight to the natural. The natural, the main base, all this production, all this setup here is exposed. There is no SimCity here or site defense outside of the natural. So ByuN has options. He has options. As there's a mule hammer. ByuN is being more active on the map. As we mentioned previously, he does not have to push into all these cannons and shield batteries. There are other ways to approach this. Getting his own CC in the face of Krystianer. Let's go. ByuN scans, spots another base. DT's on the way. Oh, ByuN is getting nukes. Let's go. Nukes on the horizon. DTs, they can't get much done here. Defensive liberators, they're crazy. The aggressive ones as well. They're the offensive liberators. 13 probes go down. Crazy damage. As ByuN is built up to 26, soon to be 32 Vikings. It's a lot of Vikings. How many storms? 5. Okay, 5 High Templar. At least 5 storms, another DT counterattack. These Zombies are expensive. I was forced to cancel. Diving on the planetarium should bring it down. The planetary does fall. Not bad. Nuke will zone away. I mean, it's a great way to break these siege positions. Break the cannon lines. Catching out 2 Tempests, they rally in. ByuN is breaking through. He's approaching the hardest way to approach this, by the way. Just headbutting through the main defense. As I mentioned before, could have gone for some of these other fringe bases, counterattacking, hitting the natural, hitting the main, but no. Just going straight through the front door. Oh, the DTs, they get another expansion. 2 planetaries go down. Takes down another planetary. ByuN still has the greater bank. Oof. Catching another carrier, the Colossus, the everything. Oh god. The Vikings, they dominate, getting you another carrier. And now there's just one Tempest. One Tempest left, down to 0, nothing left in the sky. The Vikings, they just land. And they do. Yeah, the Vikings land, they take down top right, expansion will go down. Krystianer can't engage, not through all these freedom zones. There's too much freedom. Too much liberation. Now we have another nuke. Oh god. This time the ghost is going to be targeted. Oh, Jesus. That was close. Nuke is denied. And we're down to the last mining base here. This is the last mining base for Krystianer. He has to take this fight. Oh, nice storm. Nice storm on the Vikings. But Krystianer's army isn't getting any bigger. Again, he's broke. And Krystianer, he's just broke. He has no money. He's got bases, but no saturation. There's nothing left back. Krystianer doing what he can here, just chipping away at the base. Getting an SCV here and there, takes down one of the Liberators, but Vikings to go for the dive because the mothership. Oh my god. Takes down the mothership. What do we have left? 3 Vikings, 1 carrier, handful of High Templar, everyone gets sniped. And Krystianer, he has no mining, down to 19 probes. 19 workers. Meanwhile, big shout out to Shirag in the chat. Papi, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 8 months. 8 months in a row. Thank you, Papi. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. I do appreciate it. GG gets called. Krystianer, he taps out, and ByuN, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations. ByuN, who will claim the series, winding it back again. Krystianer just had a very rough mid-game. The mid-game was brutal. We spoke about it at the time, but Krystianer, the goal there, if you recall, he was basically hyper-committed. He was all in. He was trying to break the third base of ByuN, pushing into 6 siege tanks, and he failed to break ByuN. He was able to get the tanks on the low ground, and if you remember, the storms were barely missing the ByuN army. There were like 3 storms that were just a little bit too shy. They were just a little bit too far out. They didn't quite connect. And as a result, ByuN, he barely held on to that third base, and after that defense, ByuN snowballed out of control, able to claim his 4th base, his 5th base. We saw that Krystianer went for one second big move out to try to break the 4th location before it was really taken. He was trying to push into the 3rd once again, but we had a stronger defense there by ByuN, and once that happened, ByuN was free to expand. Typically here in TvP, a lot of this does hinge on the Protoss player denying the 4th and denying the 5th and delaying for as long as possible, but Krystianer failed to do so. The 4th got up and running very easily, as Krystianer was overly aggressive, a little bit too soon, a little bit too early, pushing into that entrenched Terran player. GG. GG, well played with that. ByuN, he snowballed out of control. Once he got his 4 bases, like it was looking very dire. Like once his 4 bases got up and running, that means that ByuN can max out. He can max out with a superior composition, with a more efficient army, I should say. And Krystianer, he was late to tech into Skytoss and late to tech out. Here we go. Here we go. That leads us into the grand finals, by the way. ByuN does advance on to the grand finals to face off against who? To face off against MaxPax in those finals. Let's go. As we have another TvP.